This week, Kanye West officially announced that he will be starting Yzy porn. Logan Paul responded to the lawsuit which claims that Prime could cause cancer. Something massive is spreading through universities across America right now. Greece is looking like a freaking apocalypse, and it actually happened. Biden has just signed the TikTok ban bill into law. All of that and so much more, so let's get cracking. Okay, let's start with this one because I am genuinely lost for words because Ye officially announced today on Instagram that he'll be going into the adult film industry and starting Yzy P. And bro literally said Yzy P is coming. This is a 46-year-old man, a father of 4. What the f? Don't, what the fuck? And I need to stop swearing. But not long after this announcement, his Instagram is being taken down because I don't imagine they like that kind of stuff promoted to 20-something million followers, which he has. And you know, usually when Ye does some wild shit, his fan base is always split. But this time, honestly, I don't think I've seen one person supporting his new business venture. And instead, everyone seems to be telling him to just go back to finding Jesus. Even a massive fan page called Donda's Glory, which had over 70,000 followers just on Instagram, said if I hear one official word of Yzy P, I will immediately leave this community. And since then, all of his accounts have been deleted both on Instagram and on Twitter. So he stuck to his word. And I mean, the part that just doesn't make any sense to me, or probably the rest of the world, is that Ye has been so vocal in the past about the dangers of and how it's not being great in his life. He said that he's been battling with addiction since he was about 5 years old and that it's affected almost every decision he's ever made for the rest of his life. And I mean, Reddit users thought they had a problem. Not really. Some of those influence decisions that he may or may not have made come in the form of complaints from more than 24 Yeezy and Adidas employees telling Rolling Stones that Ye played pornography to Yeezy staff in meetings, discussed showed intimate photographs of Kim Kardashian in job interviews, and showed explicit videos and a photo of Kim Kardashian as well as his own tapes to Yeezy team members. And he even did this to the Adidas CEOs for reasons I have no idea. He once tweeted confessing that destroyed his family and even said remove any and all forms of from Twitter and every platform is the product of pedophilia. When grown men look at they are watching someone's daughter relive trauma for money. I mean, that's not to mention when he was making his Jesus is King album, he didn't even want swearing or vulgar lyrics in any of his music going forward. And now we're here. So it makes absolutely no sense why he'd be consciously contributing to such a massive problem that already exists. I mean, just listen to some of this. 56% of divorce cases involve one party having an obsessive interest in approximately 35% of all internet downloads are related to pornography. 12% of all websites are porn-related. 70% of men aged 18 to 24 visit them at least once per month. And the worst one being 9% of all porn users in the US are children under 12 years old. So unless Yzy P is like some alternative version which actually helps addicts like him, I don't know how he could possibly justify this after everything he said in the past. And I mean, his fans are even worried about the impacts this will have on his own kids, stating that they already have a mother, which has a tape online, and now they have a father who will make not ideal. I mean, honestly, if you're ever pissed off about being born not into a rich family, as this shows, the grass is definitely not always greener. So I mean, the question is, will there be some massive twist that he'll announce soon, or will we really have oiled up Kanye before GTA 6? Moving on. Now, over the last couple of weeks, the claims that one bottle of Prime has more PFOS than you should be having in your entire lifetime have circulated and gone viral over the internet. I'm sure you've probably seen. And when I tell you those videos went viral, that's an understatement because I've seen several videos from multiple creators talking about this, and all of these videos sometimes have over 1 million likes. So I don't even know how many views that has. And I think the reason they've all gone so viral is that they're all referring to to a lawsuit which was filed in 2023 but was made public last month. So when people hear lawsuit, they think, okay, well, there must be some basis to what they're talking about, especially when those claims come from an actual lawyer. And that is where Tommy the lawyer from TikTok comes in. He was one of the first people to make a video on this whole subject, and just one of them, he made a 4-part series, got over 16 million views. This then triggered a whole bunch of other non-lawyers repeating his claims for views, and it got so big that Prime themselves, in the form of Logan Paul, had to address it.
All right, let's talk about this. First off, anyone can sue anyone at any time. That does not make the lawsuit true, and in this case, it is not. There's claims that PFOS or forever chemicals come from plastic. So in this case, they're not talking about the actual drink, the liquid Prime. They're talking about the bottle that Prime is manufactured in.
Logan then continues to talk about how the claims of PFOs, which are also known as forever chemicals and do have links to cancer, aren't talking about specifically the liquid, but they're actually talking about the bottle which is around the liquid. He says that Prime is no rinky-dink operation and that they use the same bottle manufacturer as all of your favorite drinks like Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, etc. And that manufacturer adheres to all of the, common regulations. And I mean, this is a 3-minute long video, so he goes into a whole bunch more points, which I'm sure you've already seen, so I won't go over them again. And I mean, the aftermath from this video is not ideal because he may have just ruined this lawyer's career. In the first 24 hours, he's got a combined viewage of over 17 million views. And not only that, but the comments are overwhelmingly in support of what Logan said. Then Logan ended the video by saying that Tom has 48 hours to apologize or they're going to take him to court for defamation. Tom initially responded by posting a video disputing what Logan claimed and said instead of threatening him, they should go on live and debate this topic. When, obviously, Logan didn't respond to that, he decided to go live alone and said, how can people believe what Logan is saying on face value when he didn't provide any evidence for his claims? But despite this, Tom has since deleted all of the videos he's made about Prime, suggesting he may not want to stand on his original claims when it comes to them being presented in court. And not only that, but Logan wasn't the only one to call him out on his claims, because one food scientist made 2 videos with a combined length of over 7 minutes long, breaking down how his claims that one bottle of Prime contains more PFOs than you should have in your entire lifetime to actually be exaggerated by 116,000 times higher than what the lawsuit actually states itself. And I mean, the problem is, as a lawyer, you have one job that people pay you for, and that is to get the facts straight. So if you are wrong about something like this, and then it's made public on such a massive scale, that could be really hard to come back from. And I mean, even beyond this situation here, this has happened so many times to people on TikTok. They'll post something and because they don't have any followers, they think, oh, it's not gonna get many views. But then the TikTok algorithm blows it up, it gets millions and millions of views, and subsequently can ruin their lives. Every Joey Swole video is a perfect example of this. So just as good practice, so this never happens to you, I'd never want it to. Just think before you post anything, if 20 million people saw what I just said, would I be okay with that? And if you're not okay with that, just don't post it. So the question is, after this exchange, are you siding with Tommy the lawyer or Logan Paul? Moving on. So last night, almost out of nowhere, with lightning speed, Joe Biden has signed the TikTok ban into law. And I mean, as I told you guys, I thought this was gonna happen sometime next week, but no. It happened the very next day after it was passed by Senate, which, may I note, proves that if they do want to get something done, it's possible. It can be done, and it can be done with haste and speed. Biden said after signing the bill, it's going to make America safer, the world safer, and it continues America's leadership in the world, and everyone knows it. Now, just because this bill has passed, I wouldn't expect TikTok to go anywhere anytime soon, because they've already come out and said that instead of selling TikTok, which is what this bill would force them to do, they will be challenging this bill in court under capitalist principles, and it's believed that that process could literally drag out for years. And the good thing about that is if they do take this to court, actual proof will need to be provided that TikTok is a harm for US users, which so far has not yet happened. And honestly, if they can actually prove that this data was being given to the CCP, we'd all be like, fair enough. Ban it. And it's not even just TikTok that the US government will have to battle in courts, because we're already hearing about class action lawsuits being put together on the grounds of freedom of speech violations and damages to the over 7 million small businesses that would be affected by the ban. The CEO of TikTok, Shou Chew, even said the facts and the Constitution are on our side. Rest assured, we will not be going anywhere. But with all that being said, at the same time, you need to keep in mind that over 3 billion people around the world right now, which is almost half of the population, already can't use TikTok. It's already been banned in multiple countries, including India, China themselves, ironic, Iran, Senegal, Nepal, Jordan, Afghanistan, and probably more that I've even heard of. Just, Alex, I don't even give a... Just... put it in there. I don't care. So while it does have an uphill battle, just remember, it's not impossible. Moving on. Also in the past few days, something big is happening in universities across America right now. Massive pro-Palestinian demonstrations are breaking out and spreading to some of the country's most prestigious universities, and officials are scrambling to defuse these situations. Now, this all started at Columbia University last week. Hundreds of people camped out on the green and said that they would not leave until the university divests from companies selling weapons to Israel. But this protest just so happened to come at the same time where the school's leadership were at a hearing being grilled by members of Congress, telling them that they need to crack down on what they claim to be an upsurge of anti-Semitism on campus. And this grilling from lawmakers seems to have had an effect because, and this cannot be understated, for the first time in over 30 years, police were asked to come onto campus and intervene, and over 100 students were arrested, and many of which were actually suspended. And when this news reached other universities, it set off a chain reaction across the country. Students at Brown, Princeton, Northwestern, MIT, Tufts, and Emerson held protest over the weekend. LA police have had to arrive at a university in Southern California geared up in riot gear and making mass arrests, while clashing was also happening. Similar events also happened today at the University of Austin in Texas, which, side note, for anyone that watched the Texas episode that I did, last week? I was literally staying there. 47 students at Yale were arrested for setting up their own encampment. Columbia's had to cancel all in-person classes till the end of the semester. And because of that, parents and students have started demanding refunds. Dozens were arrested at New York University. Police had to turn up in riot gear to another university in California after students fully barricaded themselves inside a building. And even faculty member themselves at Columbia Uni, where this all started, staged a massive walkout condemning the school's decision to authorize a police raid on campus and suspend many of the students. And while Columbia University may have started this and been the center of the focus, they are not unique in the fact that all of these universities are getting massive pressure from both sides. One side is threatening to cut funding and support, saying that the universities allowing these protests are triggering a harmful rise in anti-Semitism that is creating an unsafe environment for Jewish students, and action needs to be taken. But when they do take action, the other side is pressuring them massively, saying that arresting and suspending students for peacefully protest violates the school's basic rule of law values. And then it just triggers even more protests. And all these universities are caught right in the middle of both sides. So the question is, ultimately, what do you think? Moving on. Oh, this one is crazy. The UK, in the past couple of days, have just signed a bill that will now allow them to fly asylum seekers which have arrived illegally into the country, fly them all the way in Africa to Rwanda. And I mean, so many countries around the world are dealing with the problem of illegal immigration right now, and many of them can't figure out a solution. And the UK has come up with probably the most bizarre one yet. For context, this bill is extremely divisive, and it was originally blocked by the European Court of Human Rights way back in 2022. But nearly 2 years later, after passing legislation that now gives ministers a new power to just flat out ignore what the EU courts say, Rishi Sunak has managed to get the bill approved, saying, no ifs, no buts, these flights are going to Rwanda. He said they've put an airfield on standby, have booked commercial chartered planes, and once the processing is complete, they will start physically removing people. And you're probably thinking, what's in it for Rwanda? Says here, £370 million over 5 years. Yeah. That'll do it. Rishi called the Rwanda bill one of the most complex operational endeavors the Home Office has ever carried out, and a fundamental change in the global equation on migration. Massive claims, and to be fair, it'll be interesting to see how it works out. So the question is, do you think that this is a good deterrent or just a waste of money? Speaking of Africa though, it literally looks like Mars has descended onto Greece right now. And I know, Greece is not in Africa. Let me continue. The entire city of Athens has been completely turned orange after dust from the Sahara Desert has somehow managed to blow all the way across the Mediterranean Sea and has reached parts of Greece, making some of the country's most famous landmarks look like you just hopped up out of a Elon Musk rocket ship. And for all the people waking up and genuinely not knowing what the hell is going on, but just seeing orange everywhere, they posted about it, and they've triggered a whole bunch of conspiracy theories on Twitter, which is just kind of funny to see. Luckily, it's not going to last very long, and it should actually be cleared up by probably the time you've watched this. And that's where we'll wrap this up. The second week of 2 videos, we're just squeaking it through. I'm telling you, the burden and the workload is getting a little bit rough. And again, I'm a day late. But when I tell you I'm doing everything in my power to stick to twice a week, just believe me, please. In fact, I'm in the process of putting out an application to hire a researcher and a news sourcer / journalist. But I will continue 2 a week, rambling on now. I love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Genuinely, fuck. Love you. See you on Monday. Oh, what? Oh, what? You didn't know NEWSDADDY was built? And then I just whisk off into the darkness. Oh! Good lighting over here. Oh, Alex, get that in. Tell the people they didn't know. What? You didn't know that we're training every single day at 5 a.m.? Nah, 6 a.m. But waking up at 5:30, you didn't know? Huh? Huh? You didn't know? All right, that's probably a bit much, eh?